Hey everyone, I'm back again today taking a look at the new Mega Destroyer Stegosaurus from Mattel's Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Dino escape range. Now for articulation quickly, you've got the front legs that go forward and backwards. Back legs do the same and they go out to the side slightly, bit of a pivot there, but mainly just forward and backwards. Then the head, as well as going up and down, doesn't go up and down too much, but just a little bit like that. Also, you can sort of spin it around like that, and it goes to the side quite nicely too. So you can have it looking side to side, which I quite like. So the head will move in pretty much every direction, even if the up and down isn't too much, but you know, it's not bad. And then there's also a cut in the middle of the body now, which is attached to the action feature, but that makes it go from side to side as well. And then the tail's got two articulation cuts there, but you can't really pose it with them because there's kind of a spring in all of that because it's tied to the action feature, which is activated by these two plates at the front here. If you push the one on the right of the dinosaur, it swings the back of the body to the right like that. So like that. And then the plate to the left does the left side. So unlike the first toy, which only had the tail moving and you had one plate that you would push down and it would make the tail sway from side to side like that, it now has the whole back part of the body swaying from side to side, and you can kind of do either one side or the other. And the action feature is tied in with the capture gear, which you put over the tail like this, and it's this kind of mechanical looking gear. So that traps the Stegosaurus's tail, so it can't sway it from side to side attacking people, but if you activate the action feature, it will break free of it and swing the gear off and kind of whack it away as well. Here's a close look at the capture gear. It's got what looks like padding around the edges to kind of protect the dinosaur from being hurt, but then it all goes around. There's got pistons here sculpted in and wires and rivets and things. On the top there you can see some more rivets and things, and then the horns are sticking out the side there. You kind of think they'd have the horns completely covered up really, but like I say, this thing is designed to stop the tail from being able to swing and attack anyone. And if you want, you can fit that capture gear around the old Stegosaurus as well, and it still works. It doesn't swing it off quite as well, but it does break off. And it even fits on the old Kenner Stegosaurus from the Lost World toy line, which had pretty much the same action feature. You press one of the plates and it makes the tail sway from side to side. And this did originally come with capture gear as well that went on the tail, but I got this one second hand, so I don't have that part. But you can make the tail sway from side to side, but it's not really knocking the capture gear off, but the capture gear does just about fit on there. The tail isn't powerful enough to knock it off. I almost didn't pick this up because from the pictures I thought it was pretty much just a retool and a repaint of the original Stegosaurus, but it's pretty much all completely new parts, all new sculpting. The head on the new Stegosaurus is quite a bit bigger than on the original, and also the mouth is open on this new one. I'm not sure how well it shows up on camera, but there is a pupil in the eye on the new one, whereas on the original, on my one at least, there was no pupil. It was just a kind of yellow daub of paint, and that was that. So there's a nice little attention to detail there that they've actually put the pupil in the eye of the Stegosaurus. The plates are on the opposite side on the new one. They've kind of alternated it from the original, almost like they've swapped sides on them. You can see the area around that's connected to the plates, which is a separate piece of plastic from the main body, is larger on the original, whereas on this new one it's a lot smaller there going along, so it doesn't kind of encroach on the rest of the body so much. The sculpting looks a lot different on this one, with the scales and things and all the lines, we look at the old one, and it's kind of hard to get them next to each other because of the size, but to try and compare, that older one, it almost looked more bumpy rather than scaly with the sculpting details. But the new one is completely different, and like I say, it is a completely new sculpt, even though it might look kind of the same, because they're in a pretty similar pose, obviously because they're the same species. It is completely different, which is really nice actually, and I do think the new sculpt is better than that first one. Mattel did get a lot of use out of that first sculpt. I think it was repainted quite a few times, so it's nice seeing a new one. I like the darker green on this new one as well, but I don't really like how it goes brown underneath. I think it would have looked better if it was that pale colour all the way underneath. It kind of seems strange to me having brown on the top with the plates, then green, then creamy, and then brown again. It just doesn't quite work for me. In the promo pictures, I actually really didn't like this. It almost looked like you could see the dinosaur's rib cage through its skin, but in person it's actually not as bad. It doesn't look quite as bone-like. But yeah, I don't know why. I just find having brown there and there kind of weird. I think I'd rather it was green further down and then just white on the belly and underside. A bit like the Lost World Stegosaurus, which has got a really lovely paint job, where it's that pale on the underside and then green mostly and then darker on the plates. I think this is actually the best paint job on a Stegosaurus. But this Lost World one has pretty much no articulation other than the tail swaying from side to side. But it's quite a nice sculpt. It's got some, because I got this second hand, it's got some parts missing where there's that battle damage. It can be hard to find these complete. I prefer how the bottom of the old one looks with the paint job, with that paler paint just along the bottom, rather than on the new one where it's brown and it sort of goes up the body more. I think it looks better just fading into pale at the bottom. And there's the app codes. Now to compare it to all the other Stegosauruses we've had over the years, all the different moulds anyway. I haven't got all the repaints of that first Jurassic World one. Then that's the Lost World one. And then this is the really weird Kenner Jurassic Park version. And I don't know what was going on with this design. It's so inaccurate. The legs, those really long front legs, the no beak on the mouth, the plates are a kind of weird shape. It was just so strange. I never liked that Stegosaurus, even though I really wanted a Stegosaurus when I was a kid. When the first toy line came out, this one just didn't do it for me. It's weird. Whenever I want to do group shots of Stegosaurus, that Jurassic Park one always ends up way in the background, so it's kind of blurred, so it just looks like a fuzzy Stegosaurus in the background and you can't really notice just how inaccurate it is. Thanks for joining me. Another look at a Mattel dinosaur, which they are just churning out at the minute. It's going to bankrupt me. So many new dinosaurs coming out this year. And we've still got those Camp Cretaceous human packs coming soon as well, which will hopefully be in the UK, because I really want to get those. But I guess it's because Mattel were expecting the Dominion movie to come out this year, so they've got loads of product ready to ship. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.